not Havoc. Fucking Tyler's arguing is that he thinks it's just in the context of martial arts only. But the problem is, on the page, they not only reference Batman's fighting style, aka his martial arts, they also reference like his condition. So it's just talking about him like as a combatant in general. So, and like obviously, like what he had, the other thing he said was like, oh, do you think it means he's like ahead of the pack in terms of Superman and things of that nature? I think it's just in relation to like the people he consistently fights, so like his rogues, which is like also the people listed in this guidebook. So like Bane is just included in that.
Well, because Havoc can't make you bigger, I'm just going to steelman that and say that doesn't defeat anything because you can be ahead of the pack and not top one.
That just doesn't make. I mean, like you could be ahead of the pack and not top one, but what I'm arguing is that Bane is in the pack that he's ahead of because of Bane being a consistent rogues gallery member for Batman. So, like, even if we want to,
you don't see where the problem is there because, like, he can be in like so the pack can be people that he consistently fights. But it's not saying Batman is ahead of the all of the people he fights. It's saying the pack or like the large majority of the people he fights.
And I'm arguing that Bane is in that large majority, so it would just mean that he's ahead of them. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would Bane not be included in that pack?
The burden would be on you to show why he's in the pack. My original statement was
I already said why he's in the pack. In the scan, they're referring
because he consistently fights people. But you can. I already said Batman can fight Bane consistently and not be ahead of him. Like,
yeah, what do you? Why would you'd be saying that based on nothing? Because this page is literally telling us he's ahead of the pack, which would be what Bane is a part of. Like, no, so am I not making sense?
You're presupposing that he's in the pack.
If you say okay, let's go with this for a moment, right? Let's say Bane is in fact ahead of like in this pack, right? If I then say
why would we take that? Why would we take that?
Okay, so you don't think Bane is in the pack? That's your main.
Yeah, I would need some reasoning to think that he's in the. That's the whole thing.
And to answer that directly, the reason why I think that they're referring to like his villains or the people that he consistently fights is because in this guidebook, not only is this section of the guide is like specifically right before the rogue section, and then if you read the actual description, it says that he has to maintain peak condition to stay out of the pack.
But Kay, no one's disagreeing with that though. Like no one's disagreeing. They're talking about the people he consistently fights.
Can I ask a question?
Pause. Tyler, your contention is why Bane would be considered a part of this pack. I'm telling you, Bane would be considered a part of this pack because he's a rogue member that Batman consistently goes up against.
So do you understand that the statement doesn't necessarily put Batman ahead of every rogue that he fights?
Can I ask a question real quick?
To who?
Yeah, to Kay. Is that all right? All right. Do you think the scan puts him above people who he consistently fights or above all of his rogues?
I think that he consistently fights his rogue, so both.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, wait. No. Hold on. Wait.
All right.
Be quiet, Tyler. Please, Tyler. Well, so you think it puts him above both people he consistently fights and every single rogue that he has?
Yeah, like the rogues that he consistently goes up against. I think that.
Okay, so not rogues like that are like one shotters, like Failsafe, for example, or something like that.
Well, yeah, Failsafe wasn't a thing when this guide came out, so.
Sure. No, I'm just like
that shit low-key cooked the scan.
Like not like single issue rogues who like show up for like one comic.
We don't need to see the scan, to be honest.
Bro. Man, I just did that for no reason. Alright, okay. Sorry, you're going back to tiny man mode.
There's K here?
Yeah, I think he was trying to fix the scan dropped.
No, wait. No, Tyler, we actually do need to see the scan because it like debugs your point if we read it in fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna crop it again. Give me a second.
Hey, do you want to send it to me on Discord?
I'm never allowed to ask questions. It's in
Abyss's server, did you not finish your question?
I didn't finish my question.
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, if he wants to argue this, I'm not going to stop him from doing that.
Sure.
Oh, here.
Okay, what's up? What's the argument?
Okay, so Tyler, you see the top portion, right? It says Batman's skills are legendary, but if he doesn't stay in top condition, he'll quickly lose them. Gotham City's Guardian maintains an exhausting daily regiment that keeps him ahead of the pack, right? You see what it says, right?
What are you getting at?
Okay, so you don't think that the statement is implying like Gotham City's Guardian, meaning like?
No, I do. I agree. The pack is Gotham villains. I'm just saying you can't prove Bane's in the pack because being ahead of the pack doesn't put you at top.
You don't think Bane is consistently like a Batman Gotham villain?
I think that you can be ahead of the pack of villains that you always fight and not be ahead of every villain that you always fight.
Explain that.
I did. So you can be ahead of the pack, right, and be in second place while someone else is ahead of you, but you're still ahead of the pack of other people behind you.
That just
You ever done?
presupposes that they're leaving members out of the pack. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, because you would be the one presupposing that being ahead of the pack makes you top one when I just offered not even more likely, but like a more logical interpretation of it.
You're just begging, bro. You're just begging the question.
Do you want to ask someone here if I'm begging the question?
I mean, Tyler, I'm not going to lie. You're arguing this really badly.
Okay, thank you, Drip Nose.
Go ahead,
still, I don't even think Drip Nose needed to say that, but still,
Oh my god.
Like
Jesus.
Tyler, if there's bro, Scott Tyler's trolling, bro. There's no way. Tyler, if you agree that Bane is consistently a Batman rogue or a Gotham City Batman villain, and they're saying that Batman is ahead of the pack, why would we assume that Bane is not in that pack? Like, there's nothing here that would support that.
I've already said that. Okay, one. So if you are ahead of the pack, right, it doesn't just make you top one. And I'm just saying, so this is also, I just want to address that you saying Batman's ahead of the pack is in response to me saying Batman admits inferiority to Bane in like 2020, right? So we have that, and then you're saying, no, well, I don't think that would be the case.
Statement.
Yeah, no, you're saying I don't think that would be the case anymore because in 2022, he's ahead of the pack. I'm saying Batman can be ahead of the pack of the people that he is consistently fighting, but that pack does not literally mean every villain that he is consistently fighting. That's not what the pack is. It's not every villain consistently fighting. It's the group.
Wants to argue about Baki after this.
Oh, bet.
I didn't hear what you said at that last bit. Not gonna lie, Tyler. Sky.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
Low-key lost my train of thought. Let me think for a second, bro. Because yeah. Okay.
Tyler,
were you saying something to the effect of being ahead of the pack doesn't mean that you're ahead of every person in the pack?
Yeah, it does. No, not that. No, I'm not saying that. Obviously, he's ahead of the entire pack of people that. Well, he's ahead of. It says he's ahead of the pack. I'm saying I don't know why Bane is in the
so
people,
Tyler,
what you've
done, Tyler, what you've done is you've accepted that Bane is in the pack already, right?
No, he's been disagreeing with
it since. I've been saying that.
No, it's because the way he did it. Because
it sounded like earlier is that you were accepting that the pack was Gotham villains and that Bane is a Gotham villain.
No. The pack is of Gotham villains, not Gotham villains.
So you think it's not including all Gotham villains?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And why would that? What are you basing that on? Like, what about this statement implies that?
Because I've already said because you can be ahead of the pack and not top one. I'm not like trying to. You
can. So that's like.
So we have Bane over Batman scaling, and then we have no, it's not because we have Bane over Batman scaling, and then you have a statement that doesn't necessarily imply Batman above Bane. That's all I'm saying.
Wait.
Okay. First things first. Hold on. The only reason I skipped over like your Catwoman shit is because like I thought it would be easier to just shoot it down with a statement. But like, firstly, we don't have valid Bane over Batman scaling because they decided to jump him with Catwoman.
Are we backtracking to that now? You can just drop the. We can drop the scan then.
We can go back to that because like we're just gonna go circular on this because you're like your argument is a non sequitur. You're saying, well,
if you think it's a non sequitur, I'll talk about it because
you're saying no. This matters. This is what I'm asking you. Why is Bane not in the pack? And we agree that it's Gotham villains. Your answer is because Batman could be ahead of the pack and not be ahead of every Gotham villain. I then ask, okay, what implies that Bane isn't a part of this? And then you say the same thing again. Like you don't have like an actual foundation for this argument.
You realize that you are the one assuming that he's in the pack, right?
Because they're saying, okay, if we agree that the pack is consistently Batman's rogues gallery, people that he just consistently fights, that's the most logical assumption of who the pack could be in question or in reference to, right? If we agree with that, Bane just naturally falls into that group.
We know
For me to remove Bane from that group, I would have to have a preponderance of evidence to do
well, because that's not even true. You'd have the reason why they would be in the pack because he's not necessarily at top one. So what I would say is Bane is on the higher echelon of the DC rogues as well. And like I've already said, like you can be like ahead and not there. So you have to have a reason for it.
Okay. Let's just go to the actual Bane scaling since this isn't gonna go anywhere because I really don't feel like arguing this interpretation of a statement for 2 years just for you to say the same non sequitur like 4 times.
You would need a reason why he's in the pack, bro.
Bro, the reason why
Pack
he's
is.
in the pack
I
is
understand.
because it's been
I
referenced in
understand. I
Gotham City
understand that.
Roads, bro. That's the
I
reason why
understand.
he's
I
referenced.
understand that. I understand that. But I'm saying the pack does not include all of Batman's
That's like-
villains.
So
It
wait,
is
Tyler,
of his
Tyler,
villains.
what would you define the pack as?
It is.
Like you
this
should
is
give
Yeah.
your
So
own
I'm
counter
saying.
definition instead
Yeah.
of just saying
So
yours
what
is
I'm
bad.
saying. Gotcha. Well, I'm not trying to just say. So what I'm saying.
Wait,
the
Tyler, real
pack.
quick before you continue. Is this an open panel? Are you fine with this dropping?
Nigga
as
demand
well?
said I control Tyler like he did me, but I'm not.
I'd rather.
rather be a
just so I'm
one-on-one,
able
it's
to
fine.
just so
I
I'm able to
didn't know if
respond
it
to
was an
stuff.
open panel or not. I don't.
It can. I
Fine.
don't. I don't care. Yeah, it's fine. It can be an open.
Yeah, no,
panel.
it can be a
I'm just-
one-on-one. I can
Okay,
give you
wait.
so I
How
can-
about I just
Abyss,
ask
Abyss, if you want to say
clarifying
something, you
questions?
can go. Abyss.
No,
Wait,
yeah,
I just want to give my
about say-
interpretation before we get into that because I just want to make what I'm saying clear, right? So
Sure.
when I read Batman ahead of the pack, right, I'm imagining all of or a majority even of his Gotham villains, like fucking I don't know, Mad Hatter, Riddler, like dudes that we know are pretty fodder compared to Batman. Like he's ahead of them, he stays conditioned to be. But like I said, in a cross country race, there can be a pack of runners, and then there can be people ahead of the pack that fall off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place, right?
Oh, so you're
I'm saying
pack
I think
is
Bane
like the general average of
Yes.
people, and then Bane
Yes.
and Batman characters like Deathstroke would be ahead of that, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then I'm saying, yeah. And then Kay is going, well, we know that they are Batman villains. So why would we not just assume that? Well, one, because my interpretation, and two, I think Bane has a lot of reasoning to be a higher echelon than the average Batman villain. He literally soloed Arkham.
All right, so wait, first things first. Hold
Next,
up.
well,
Okay,
if that's your interpretation, and it the statement not encompassing Bane is contingent on Bane scaling, just discuss Bane scaling, but that doesn't get rid of the statement here. You can still use that when determining the validity of the Bane scale.
Do you get when you pull up saying, so your scale would be Batman over pack, Bane pack. You'd have to you'd be the one proving Bane's in the pack.
Yeah, Hay gave his reasoning
so
as
then
to
when
why,
you get
but
into
you
the-
disagree. Yeah, you disagree because of your interpretation of Bane scaling over Batman already. So I'm saying discuss that.
Well-
but this statement recontextualizing their scaling is still a fact.
To be fair, he also did say Bane is he shouldn't be included in the pack because he soloed it himself. He soloed all of Arkham by himself.
Yeah, I
so
feel I've
that
given
would be another reason why this shouldn't apply to Bane.
Yeah, there's a couple reasons that he's given. I'm not gonna.
I feel like I did just say that, yeah.
Okay, sure, but the
Hold on,
basic
the
premise
problem-
of
hold on, wait, can I say something real
contention is
quick?
that you don't think he's there, right?
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason why I disagree with his interpretation and why I still think that it doesn't make sense is because he says in his interpretation that he thinks it's the average Gotham villain. But what about this statement gives him the idea that it's only talking about average Gotham villains and just not Gotham villains?
So,
yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
That just doesn't make sense. It's like you're giving. It's like you're giving
you.
Bane grace just because you have your own personal interpretation of the character.
I got you. So I used to run cross country, so I'm gonna keep coming back to that analogy. When you're running, there can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places in first, first through 6, and then after that, there's going to be, if there's 60 people in the race, there's going to be 40 people all strutting along at the similar pace and all grouped together, and then you'll have the really shitty people that should have quit the sport that are all the way in the back, right? So that's why I'm saying that. That's my interpretation to justify it.
I think
Even if we take your cross
realistically, I think this statement is just saying this nigga. We can be real. I'm gonna be real. We can all be real. Batman's better than Bane in most aspects, but in reality, that's what allows him to stay ahead and shit. I think it's something tactically. I don't think it has to be in a specific area. We saw what happened in the story. That nigga was scared. That nigga was terrified. That nigga didn't know what the fuck to do. He was not ahead. That nigga was behind. He had to go on vacation. So I think overall, it would just be talking about tactically. He's just overall just better than him, and pretty much every skill you can think of. Detective work, you can stay ahead of him on detective things. What Bane is going to do, where he's going to be. But I don't think that has to translate directly to combat because we see what happens in combat.
I mean, I think it's
That's really well said, HR.
Combat. I mean, he can have that interpretation, but
the reason that makes
that's the
no
thing.
sense.
You're
though.
going to
The
disagree
reason
with the
that's
combat aspect, but Tyler actually thinks the
but
Bane's skill.
No, Tyler's argument is significantly better. The reason that shit sucks is because if we read the statement, it's talking specifically about Batman being better than everybody else. If combat was a thing that he faltered in comparison to another character, he himself would have to train himself ahead of the pack in that specific regard. It's like
I think that's not a good argument.
That specific interpretation of the
would you agree that you can be ahead of somebody?
The statement just is in reference to
horrible
combat, though. Like, if
That's
we
a
look at
horrible
it again, I can pull it back up.
Wait, real quick. Wait. Can I ask a question real quick?
I think we can all agree that Bane is physically stronger than Batman.
I don't think that
he
either.
stays at. You don't think that?
No.
Okay, you think Bane?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Before you guys argue about that stupid shit,
That's dumb.
I want to establish something. Do you guys understand like the analogies that people are usually talking about when they say like ahead of the pack? Like if you see like Tyler was talking about like racing, right? Like with Formula One, if someone is ahead of the pack, right? If a car is in the lead, and you say, okay, well this car is ahead of the pack, and there's another car behind it, you would agree that all of these cars are in the race, right? So Batman is in the race, and Bane is in the race.
Long story short,
okay, wait, hold on. Yeah. So wait. Can I just expand upon this? So you agree that like Batman is in the race in this analogy. You agree that Bane is in the race in this analogy. And there's a group of people in the average of this analogy who are part of the pack, right? And this pack includes probably mostly villains, right? Probably it's almost all villains in the pack. But then there's also villains outside of the pack as well, right? Is this something that
I think the statements like I think the specific verbiage used can mean that in certain contexts. With the cross country analogy, us witnessing the race and having that context to establish ahead of the pack doesn't necessarily mean number one. I think like works, but I think the statement at face value would entail first place, which is why I said just discuss the Bane scaling to determine whether or not that context exists.
So you think it does imply that, or did you say it does or it can?
I think
you read that by yourself. You say because you said,
I think if you're reading, I think if you read the statement face value, never reading a Bane Batman encounter ever, that interpretation is unlikely.
Well, I don't know why we're talking about that because you said if we read that in a vacuum. So I'm saying, do you really think if we read he's ahead of the pack, you assume that's first place?
Correct. I think the context that makes ahead of the pack not necessarily mean number one is the specific contextual factors in an example.
So
in your cross country example,
to be clear, that's totally fair. Wait, hold on, Tyler. You shouldn't be arguing with that. That's totally fair.
No, I wasn't going. Okay.
Okay. No, I'm just. Okay, a little bit of coaching. All right, that's like completely fair.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say, why do you read it like that? I'm sorry, this is for curiosity because I'm saying you're saying,
ahead of the pack.
Wait, I just want to before you, you're saying if we have no reason to read it like that, that's how we would, right? But I'm saying you don't even need the contextualization of that running thing because I'm just saying when you use that ahead of the pack, it's not it's not without context. Just saying top one, unless you have a solid reason for why.
It would be. The verbiage is the reason why, right? Ahead implies further than, or in this case, ahead of. Wait, that was circular. Niggas know what I'm trying to say. Ahead means you're in front of them, right? The pack is implying of the majority, the vast majority. Unless we have specific things outlining who is not considered the majority.
Well, he already brought that up.
We wouldn't.
Didn't I say he sold Arkham though?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I agree with you in the sense of your interpretation can be true because of the specific contextual factors you're giving, like the Arkham stuff. So instead of arguing the statement, argue the scaling. However, keep in mind the statement's presence because it can recontextualize your interpretations of the fights.
All right, thank you for that wonderful addition to the debate. You guys can go back to arguing.
All right. Looks like
Tyler, I don't know.
What are we?
I don't really disagree with what Abyss said because I think that the only way you could get Bane to not be a part of the pack is by having some form of reasoning as to why he wouldn't just generally.
Yeah, he sold Arkham. He sold Arkham. That's all. That's all you gotta say.
You could say but you could say
the entire pack.
Wait, but hold on. This is the next problem that I have. Right, is that Bane could be above the Arkham Rogues, but not necessarily be above Batman. So like, even though sure,
Well, no,
he's above.
I don't care.
He's not arguing that.
Yeah.
All he's saying.
No,
so
I know
he
he's not
beat the
arguing.
Arkham Rogues,
No, wait,
so he's trying to
pause,
throw out
pause.
your
Let me.
statement. Not
No,
that
no, hold on,
Yeah.
pause. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Even if we say Bane soloed Arkham, cool, that can be the case, right? That did happen. That doesn't inherently change anything about the statement because Bane being Bane being a part of the pack isn't like contextually being based upon where Bane ranks among these characters. It's being based upon who Batman consistently goes up against. So sure, Bane could be the strongest Batman rogue, but that doesn't mean he's not a part of the pack, which is just Batman rogues.
It
That's
literally
what I'm
does.
saying.
It
There's
literally
nothing
does
that supports
because-
that.
So I got you. So like when I was talking about like the pack in the cross country thing, which I will keep bringing up, everyone was running at the same pace and doing the same performance, leading to them all being in a large group. And then you have the people in first through like sixth or seventh that will, do like better, not necessarily
You're
relative
presupposing.
with
Hold on.
number
You're
one, but
presupposing.
that's not
You're
what we're doing.
presupposing. Hold on. You're presupposing that the pack in question here is in relation to like how they scale to Batman. I'm saying that the pack,
No,
the criteria.
I know. You're
Hold on,
actually
wait.
no. I don't think that. That's not what I think. I'm not
so
using
then
Batman
your
scaling.
cross. Hold on. So then your cross country analogy just doesn't matter because what
No,
I'm
it
saying. No, it doesn't because what I'm saying is that the pack is the criteria of being a part of this pack is to literally just be a consistent adversary to Batman and Gotham, which is the criteria that Bane meets. So just because Bane is stronger than the other competition in Gotham doesn't now separate him from this pack of characters who are Batman's common adversary in Gotham.
Twice. I can explain why.
All right,
So you would have to be above the pack because performance, right? If you are in the pack, you are putting up a almost identical performance, which is why you guys are all grouped together in the fucking pack, right? So then Bane, if he is solo, hold on. I want to finish it. If Bane is soloing Arkham and massively above his rogues, there's no way he's putting up the same performance, meaning he's out of the pack. You already said, oh, I'm not talking about like in reference to Batman. I'm not either. I'm talking about in reference to each other, the rogues. I think Bane has a good case for being massively above the rogues, just like Batman. So he's out of the pack.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask Drip knows this because you like you're friends with Tyler more than me, right? Because I'm not like I don't want to like get called a dick rider, but is it just me or did he not track what was said? Because Kay said the problem is you're presupposing it's in relation to Batman, and then Tyler in his definition for pack was about similar performance. Performance in what? Like what? Why does performance?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the scan
He's not.
doesn't it?
It's about
it
as a
doesn't
fighter. So
it entail like fighting.
It's saying that.
So wait. What
So
Tyler's?
hold on.
Wait, can I just be clear about what I think Tyler's arguing?
Good.
Okay. What I think Tyler's arguing is that there was a race, and what Kay and Tyler seem to be agreeing on is that race is denoted by like skill or efficiency or efficacy, I suppose, as a fighter. Right? Is this agreed upon?
No,
in the analogy,
I don't think that there's a
like,
race. I don't think that there's a race of any sort.
Not a literal race, like
I know,
analogy,
but
like
I think
ahead of
that
the pack.
I don't agree with the analogy either. I think that the ahead of the pack is simply just in reference, like, okay, the title of this page is staying on top. The ahead of the pack is just in regards to Batman's hierarchy amongst the people that he fights.
Yeah, explain
it's not
the hierarchy. Explain what the hierarchy.
Wait. So when we try to understand, hold on, Kay. When we try to understand like what terms mean, we usually look at like the context in which the terms are usually used.
Right.
So ahead of the pack is almost always talking about some sort of competition. It could be a race, it could be something, but almost always when it's used, it's talking about people in like a general competition with one another. Do you at least agree with that?
Sure, but I think that in this context, the reason why it's slightly different is because Batman is in competition with the people that he goes against for, like, obviously, like, control of Gotham, let's say, right? And I think that in this context, the statement doesn't have to be in relation to how strong these rogues are in relation to each other. It's more so how strong these rogues are in relation to Batman. So Bane, being a character who is massively above the other rogues, doesn't necessarily need to be not included in this pack, because him being above the other rogues doesn't necessarily mean that he's over Batman. So it doesn't contradict the staying on top aspect of the statement, which is the point of this page. So, like, if we say,
I think you've just done is you've just put yourself in an exclusively difficult position to argue, because the context in which ahead of the pack is almost always used is in sort of like a free for all, like every man for himself competition sense, right? Like almost every single time I can think of, where someone would use the term ahead of the pack, it would be in a race, in a free-for-all tournament, and something like that, right? And ahead of the pack in those contexts usually just means you're above like the riffraff of like the average Joe who's in the race.
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. Like I low key like cut out for a second because I like went to go check something. You just repeat that.
Okay. What I'm saying is you've put yourself in a uniquely difficult position to argue against Tylxr on, because generally, in almost every single context that I can think of, ahead of the pack refers to some sort of like free-for-all, every man for himself competition, be it a race or some bracket-style tournament or something. And ahead of the pack just means that you're above like the general riffraff you're competing against.
Wait, hold on. Pause. Because that's not what I'm disagreeing with. What I'm disagreeing with is this, right? I'll restate it again, because Tyler's analogy is basically saying, oh, Batman's ahead of the pack, but Bane could be like close to Batman, which means that Bane isn't a part of the pack. My main contention is that there's nothing here that would suggest why Bane wouldn't be a part of the pack when the pack is just being referred to as the Gotham villains, which me and Tyler agree.
So what Tyler's argument
can,
is that the context of comic books recontextualizes what pack should be in reference to, right?
Right. If your argument is that, okay, in a vacuum, if we only had this statement and we had no feats for Batman and we had no feats for Bane, we would have no evidence to assume Bane is any better than the average Joe. And we would have evidence to assume that Batman is better than the average Joe because this statement just says it. I think Abyss is right that in order to progress beyond this point, you have to argue what Bane's actual connective tissue scaling against Batman is. It does establish connective
that's
scaling
fine.
with
We can
go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I just wanted Tyler to understand, like, if we just look at the statement itself, like, it just doesn't mean what he was saying.
Also,
So like, we can,
I think this is.
I said that, I did not, drip nose. Didn't I say we should just argue the scaling like anyway because I didn't want to go circular on the statement?
Yeah, but you're bringing up.
You did say that. Wait. You did say that. You did. Wait. You said that.
Like I knew we had to address the scaling, but like I just.
Wait. I'm about to caveat. You may not like the caveat. You did say that, but what you said at the start was, "Oh, we don't have to go over the scaling because I can just bring up this statement that would." Be more
to be fair, the only reason I brought that up is because I didn't think that the statement would have like such a rigmarole. Like
you thought you were gonna one shot me with that.
Rigmarole, that's a damn good word.
Nah, like I feel like it is a defeater to the argument like very easily, but like you're choosing to interpret it in a way that like just doesn't matter.
It doesn't
like,
defeat anything.
Yeah, but like we have to go over it because like I can't leave it unaddressed because then technically you win. So like we could go over the scaling and why it doesn't matter.
Okay, sure.
You guys can do that now.